I'm really happy to be here today. I didn't plan on doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And that is to read a little bit about Soupy. It's his response to this award. And I just want to say, yes, we were Brownie. This is the trumpet section in the Lionel Hampton Band. Thank you. As it was when I was there. Piano was George Wallington. The trumpet section was Quincy Jones, Art Farmer, Clifford Brown. That's not bad, huh? And let me stop talking and get on to this. October 30th, 2008. President Buffington, Don Gladden, and organizers and presenters of the Clifford Brown Symposium, distinguished guests, fans of Clifford Brown, and especially Clifford Brown's family here today. Thank you for honoring me with the University of the Arts President's Award for the advancement and preservation of jazz. I am grateful for your recognition of my role in preserving Clifford Brown's appearance on my show, Soupy Sales. In 1955, nobody thought about recording television for posterity. A fateful coincidence that night had a friend film the show to preserve some of my characters. That remains the only existing record of Soupy's on. Detroit's 11 p.m. viewing habit from 1953 to 1959. Today, I'm delighted to remember my work in Detroit television's early years. It was a great time, and I had a lot of fun. As a lover of jazz, to live and work in Detroit in the 50s was to die with the assurance that you were going to heaven. Detroit was a jazz mecca with some 20 clubs playing jazz greats day in and day out. At the same time, Detroit gave back what it took, and what happy returns we got. It was like an ocean with a humongous wave had thrust an avalanche of great music upon the shores of Detroit. Detroit was a sophisticated town, a place where everybody dressed up when they went out, and you could eat dirt cheap back then. Of course, if you wanted food, it cost you extra. God sure loved Detroit, and I lived and worked there. For a jazz player coming through Detroit in the 1950s, Soupy Sales became the show to do. Everybody performed live, and it was no surprise to tune in at 11 p.m. and see Duke Ellington, Dizzy Gillespie, or Billie Holiday performing live. Charlie Parker appeared on the show twice, and his Yardbird Suite was my theme song. Little Stevie Wonder was 11 years old when he appeared on Soupy Sales, and he was a genius even then. Bobby Darin was 18 when he did his first TV appearance on my show, and all those great players and performers made each evening a gala opening night. On this particular night, Clifford Brown played with the rhythm section from my house band. Like so many musicians, he stopped by to do a couple of songs on Soupy Sales to promote a local gig he and Max Roach were doing. The musical genius of Clifford Brown was obvious to everyone who encountered him. The sounds he recorded in his brief time thrill us today. Joy Spring remains more than a title song. It is the essence of listening to Clifford Brown, a joy in music that springs forth all these years after his death. I am so grateful that we preserved Brownie's appearance on Soupy Sales. Nobody could have predicted the awful twist of fate that silenced the horn of Clifford Brown. And nobody can truly measure the impact his loss had on the jazz world. Thank you for remembering him and for keeping his legacy alive for future generations. I consider myself a success because I have been able to do what I love to do. The nightly mixture of jazz, talk, and comedy of Soupy Sales was a part of my career that means a great deal to me. Thank you on behalf of myself and my wonderful wife, Trudy Carson Sims. Thank you on behalf of my cast and crew from Soupy Sales. Thank you on behalf of my band leader, Hal Gordon, and his band, all players gifted with the flexibility to play with the best at a moment's notice. Thank you on behalf of the musicians who were part of some of the best work of my life. Most of all, thank you on behalf of jazz lovers everywhere for keeping the music alive. With gratitude, Soupy Sales.